Okay. Good morning, everyone. Fox 10 Talks here on a Thursday. And Ron has the day off. So let me go ahead. I'm going to throw up our poll question. Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Ron has the day off. And so we're in here and we are hanging with Anita Roman. Anita, good
Good
morning, my friend. How are
morning.
you?
It's a fantastic Thursday.
It
Terrific
is. I
Thursday.
know, I know. It has been a busy morning.
Yes, it has.
Yeah,
A lot
and
of news.
a lot of news.
hmm
Okay, let's go to the first story I want to
Okay.
show. Let's talk about this. This is such a wild story. For all of you chiming in on the chat box, let us know your thoughts as we kind of roll through some of the crazy wild weather that we're experiencing here around the nation, and we'll get to your poll question here in a few minutes as well. So, good morning here to Kim Winnett. Good morning in our chat box, and
Wow.
Sherry Nevada Pup. But is this not crazy video?
It's probably probably some of the most dramatic I've ever seen. I'm from the Chicago area, so we're used to seeing massive amounts of snow everywhere, and it wasn't uncommon to see the power poles and all the lines down because
Yeah,
when you have all the ice and the snow hanging on that, it adds so much weight that they fall,
they do.
and that's what happened to the roof.
Isn't this crazy? So, the security camera from across the street of a firehouse catches the roof collapsing under the weight of the heavy snow. We're just going to keep showing this to you because it's gone viral and it's crazy when you think about it.
Dramatic, yeah.
Yeah, it's super dramatic. And this is in New York. Syracuse.com reports fire crews were working to remove the snow buildup from the roof just
Mhm.
minutes before. So, fortunately, no one was actually injured.
Which is really unbelievable, and if you think about it, it's like an avalanche, right? You're stuck under all of that snow, you can't breathe, it's difficult to get them out. I mean, it could have been catastrophic.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so you said you're from Chicago.
Yes.
Have you ever seen anything quite like this in like where you were from or
The
in
snow?
yeah,
Yeah,
like that much snow?
that's what I was saying. I mean, we would get feet of snow, and I can't say I've ever experienced a roof collapse, but we had reports of the roof collapses. We had reports of damage because of the snow, and again, as I was saying, the power lines, especially when you
Yeah.
have the snow, and then the ice. The snow is melting; it's still cold. The ice is pulling those power lines down, and that's terrible as well because it's so cold.
I
You're in the middle of a
know.
winter storm, and you can't run your
Ugh.
heat.
And the crazy thing is that we also had video of and this this parking garage and the entire top
Mhm.
level of the parking garage just caved.
Mhm.
The northern northeast part of the country has seen so much crazy weather,
Mhm.
and we're seeing what we saw 90,
90
88.
de 90 degree we hit 90 the other day, and Crystal Ortiz was, not putting that 90 on the 10-day until we hit, and then yesterday she said, "Okay, 91." But it's warm here and the complete opposite in other parts of the nation.
Yeah, it is so crazy. So we're going to go from this, and I want to pull up our poll question real quick because that has to do with a lot of you who are hanging with us and watching at home, as well as who are watching and hanging with us in the chat box. KDJW5, thank you so much for welcoming everyone to the chat box. And so here is Sherry Nevada Pups asked about that video. She said, "Were there any animals in there?" And I do not believe there were any animals
Well,
inside
the
there.
reports are no one was hurt, so I would imagine if there were animals hurt, they would have disclosed that as
Yeah, and
well.
and they were so close. Those fire crews, look at them running there.
Mhm.
It was just wild. Okay, so let me go ahead to your poll question for a lot of you who've been chiming in. And here's your question for today. Our poll question: Wild weather has been plaguing the nation. Warmer than usual. Winter out west, of course, here in Arizona. We just Anita and I were just talking about this, seeing 90 and 91 degrees. Colder and snowier than usual out east. So, what is your perfect temperature right now? 70 to 80 degrees. That's winning. Anita, what's your perfect as a gal from Chicago or,
Uh,
the area? What's your perfect temp?
I'm gonna go with the 60 to 70 degrees. I
Ooh,
do like it a little bit cooler, because you can always pile those layers on to warm up.
right?
But if it's 120, you're only getting so naked, you know? You can
That's
only take so
true.
many layers off and it's hot. So both can be dangerous. I've experienced both. I've had extreme heat exhaustion out here, and then I've been, in freezing temps in the Chicago area. But
Yes.
I don't mind the cool crisp. I like a warm day.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one year round.
We were just chatting about this yesterday when you walked into the newsroom. Anita and I are actually kind of desk mates, so we sit
Mhm.
right next to each other. And you said it was nice outside yesterday, and you thought it was colder. Was it colder in the newsroom than
I
it
was
was even
surprised at how
yesterday?
cold it is, but, they are testing the AC
I
units.
know here. Yes, I know.
So we're running our heat inside.
I know.
We do an afternoon walk, and I like when it's around 60 in the afternoon because
Mhm.
it's just a little bit more.
Well, and then the sun's like coming down on you, and it's
Yeah,
really nice.
I like the cooler temperatures, that just a little bit more refreshing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
here's a question for all you in the chat box too, and you can chime in on this. When do you start your AC unit? How warm does it have to be? And I say this because it was warm yesterday, and I like to shower at night and in the morning. So at night, I got out of the shower last night, and I thought, why am I so cold?
The AC was running, wasn't it?
My kids turned the
Yeah.
AC on. I'm
We
like, you're not paying the bills up in here. What is going
We
on?
turned the AC on Sunday. Our bedroom, our master is primary, is west facing. So
Yeah.
it gets warm. We go to bed so early
Mm-hmm.
and I can't sleep when it's hot. So
Yeah.
we'll run it just a little bit until it cools off outside and we can open the
Yeah.
windows.
So true.
But in the summertime, we're very conservative. We're not really dipping past 78, 79
Yeah,
degrees.
I know. Tyler, he asked, he says, Celeste, you prefer 60 to 70. Aren't you from the valley? That's like a cold winter day for
It
all of
is,
us desert
but I
rats.
think we just like the change. We like the change.
Yes, we do. I after growing up in Tempe, Arizona, I'm a valley girl. I think moving to like a place with four seasons sounds like a dream, to experience it for a little bit, but then I want to come home.
There are pros and cons to all of it, right?
So true. Okay, let's go to our next video that
Mhm.
we have this morning. So we're going to go from all that crazy snowy weather to, of course, this. And this never gets old. It's that 600-foot high lava fountain. This stunning footage was caught on camera on Kilauea Volcano. It's located inside Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. So the U.S. Geological Survey says this went on for more than 12 hours.
Mhm.
12 hours this lava was spewing.
We had the script yesterday, and I said that I think that they said it is as little as 12 hours,
Uh-huh.
14 hours, to as many as like weeks that it keeps going, or something like. I'd have to double check on those, but it can just go and go and go, and it is sensational to
It
watch.
really
It
is.
is Mother Nature wowing
It
us.
really is. Okay, so you can see the molten spewing into the sky on this image that we have for you. Here's a wider look from the USGS. And if you've seen this, maybe you want to chat in the chat box with us and say, hey, yeah, I have seen this. And if you have any questions for Anita Roman, she's a health nut. She likes to juice and eat very well. So if you're looking for a way to spice up your life and maybe make it a little healthier, go ahead and ask a quick question there in our chat box.
Hi, good morning,
But
everyone.
so this is in fact the 11th episode of eruption activity since December 23rd. And if you're thinking, wow, that seems like a lot, Kilauea is one of the world's most active volcanoes. So speaking of, we're kind of covering the skies and the weather as well. Let's go to this. Anita, when we brought this up earlier this morning, and I know you're an animal lover, we have a
Oh,
lot of animal lovers out there who watch and hang with our streaming platform here
this is a
on
tough
Fox 10
one.
Talks. I know. And this was a horse. This is in Saratoga Police Department there. And this
Oh,
horse fell into the
goodness.
water, and it's hard to
It's very
watch.
difficult to watch, but the horse is okay.
Yeah, fortunately.
Horse is okay.
So they pull him out, but imagine like trying when you pull your dog out of the water, or me, my kid, like, our Jack and Gracie, we have two big Aussies at home, like they're heavy,
Oh,
because they're
very.
soaked. Imagine
Right.
how
All
heavy
the
this
fur.
horse
Well,
was.
I will tell you a couple of weeks ago, Shorty, my 17-and-a-half-year-old Chihuahua, who's very vision impaired, was
Oh,
left outside, not by me, not placing any blame, walked into the swimming pool. The water
how
is
scary.
terrifying. He was in there for about 5 minutes, and his body temp dipped down to about 80. It's supposed to be 102. So they had him on oxygen at the at the vet. They had heating pads on him. They had to make sure he didn't have any water in his lungs.
Yeah.
It's a terrifying situation. That cold water, though. I mean, I've done the cold plunges in my swimming pool.
Yes.
It's tough to stay in there for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the poor animals not understanding what's happening.
I know,
I
I
know, I
know.
feel
It's
bad.
so scary. But yeah, we have a lot of horse lovers here in Arizona. And we have, of course, we don't see quite anything like this unless we're up in Flagstaff or maybe the White Mountains area where
Mhm.
you have some of our lakes that are frozen over. But we do have a lot of wild horses that make their way
Mhm.
through the Salt River.
Yeah.
So, okay. So,
Thankfully, that is not frozen.
I'm going to read a couple of your comments here. So Louis Gonzalez says, I still use a swamp cooler, he says.
Good for you,
I
Louie.
remember those from when I was little. Sherry Nevada Pup, you're up in the Kingman area, and I know you're an animal lover, my friend. She says, oh no, that poor horse.
Mhm.
And then we do have, let's see. Uh, hold on one second. KDJW5, Leo Mack Jr., more sad news. You didn't win the lotto. Okay, well, we're going to go to the mystery cam right now and we'll show. And so,
Okay.
Anita, you can guess. And maybe you at home, if you are thinking, hey, maybe should I buy a lottery ticket today? Real quick, Tyler Lewis says, poor Shorty, glad he was okay.
Thank you, me too.
Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go to the mystery cam here this morning, and this is your shot. This for all of you
Oh.
in the chat box. Share with us your thoughts on where you think this is. We're going to it a little bit early to give you some time to take it all in. That's a beautiful high rise. If Ron was here,
He would know what the city
he
is.
would know. He's like, I've been to dinner in that building,
Uh-huh.
and the
Yep.
doorman, I remember the bellman. He was very nice, and he held the door for us. And so here is a quick look. It looks snowy.
It's foggy.
Yeah, visibility is pretty
I
low.
don't see snow on the ground though.
Oh, that's true. Maybe it's just foggy
I
weather.
think it's foggy weather. But I'm terrible at guessing. I'm
Okay.
terrible.
Wait, we need to see it. Do we recognize the
Well,
skyline?
that's what I'm looking at. I'm trying to read the writing on the building right in front of that big skyscraper in the middle, and I can't.
So I just threw it up here. Let's see. Contessa Cruz Diaz says it's very windy here in Bullhead City.
Oh, wow.
Her windows and doors are wide open, she says, to allow some of that fresh
Yeah.
breeze
See, that's what I'm talking about
in.
with that 60 degrees.
Yes. B. Miguel says Minnesota. Kim Winnett says Boston. Jen's Wall, she says, she doesn't see snow either.
No.
So I wonder if it's like this wouldn't be a Chicago skyline, would it be, Anita? You would have more buildings, maybe.
Well, when I initially looked at it, I thought it could be. It depends on which direction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was foggy in Chicago this morning.
Yeah, Linda Monter
N-
thought Chicago.
It's cloudy in
Jen's Wall
Chicago.
says Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Chi-Town.
I'm going to go with Chicago too.
Okay, let's go to break. We'll be right
Okay.
back. All right, welcome back, everyone. My apologies if it went to break. I was mismanaging my time.
We're just learning. We're all in this together.
Life is just a journey of progress. Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's give you all thank you for sharing your thoughts on the mystery cam. Let me read some of your thoughts on this, and then Anita's going to have the answer. So a lot of people are going with Cleveland. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, plenty of people are going. Leo Mack says Chicago, and there's quite a few of you who are saying Chicago. Louis Gonzalez, Kim Winnett said Hartford. Lady Pashta says Cleveland. Lady, are you new to the stream? And if you are new to the stream, please let us know in the chat box. We always love hearing from our new streamers, if we will. Angela Brockelman and let's see, Linda Monterset thought Chicago, PNW, the Pacific Northwest. We have another Illinois. Yeah, Angela said Illinois. Cleveland, not Chicago, Leo Mack says. Cleveland. So lots of folks are saying Cleveland. KDJW5 says, if we got this, I'll buy 2 tickets. He's talking about the lottery. Jen's Wall says, yeah, she's sticking with Chicago.
What did KDJW say?
I believe he went with, let's look back here, Jim in the house. I love how you guys talk to each other. It's so awesome. Jim Fine says Pittsburgh. Okay, KGJW says I go with Cleveland.
Okay, KDJW,
All right,
my friend.
I'm gonna put Anita's cam up.
You are correct.
Oh,
Cleveland, Ohio, everyone.
nice.
Yeah,
Well
great
done.
guesses. I'm
Okay.
very impressed.
I know, right? A lot of you. Here's
Very
another
impressed.
look.
Beautiful.
Cleveland, Ohio. That is a very cool building. The high rise
Mhm.
slightly left of center.
Beautiful.
We got to start having some gifts.
We'll get some hats that we can send your
Maybe
way.
some like streaming, like little,
That's a great idea.
baseball caps or something that said Fox 10 Talks on there. So thank you all for sharing in that with us. Okay, we're going to put this up. This next story has gone viral. Listen to this. Listen to this.
So we're on our private jet.
All right, Savannah and Natalie. Just sent out the beat. Savannah and Natalie, room's coming through to take your drink orders. We can serve. Savannah and Natalie, please serve you in the aisle. Savannah and Natalie,
So they're on a
your
flight,
safety
not a
will always
train.
be our number one
Why not?
priority. So don't hesitate to let us know if you have any other needs that we can take care of. Welcome aboard. Airlines.
Yeah, that is pretty amazing. Okay, let me give you a little background. You see that they're the only two on the flight.
That's amazing.
And
Incredible.
the Southwest pilots and the airline attendants are talking to them like it's a private flight. Look at the sweet snacks they have. So these two friends, they had left Salt Lake City, coming to Phoenix. Savannah Sargent and Natalie Wolfley, and they were coming for Savannah's bridal shower. And so we chatted with them this morning, and it was so fun. But imagine this: they said it was a 10:30 p.m. flight. And in the chat box, let us know if this has ever happened to you, because we thought this was just an anomaly. We're like, we don't know if this has ever happened. 10:30 p.m. flight on a Friday night. They left Salt Lake City to come to Phoenix, and they were the only two on that flight.
Everyone's sleeping. I remember taking a flight to Dallas, but it was a very early morning flight. I can't tell you the day of the week, but I think there were like 5 of us on the flight. And I
Yeah.
had the entire row, obviously, half the plane to myself. So I just laid down and I slept the entire flight.
So here is, has this happened to you, Anita, on like you said you were sleeping, but Lil Philosophy says they have canned apple juice, like
Yeah. She got the whole thing.
yeah, she got the whole thing. Tyler Lewis says, how is it when I book on an empty flight, they
Mhm.
cancel it,
Well, they cancel it, or the one other person who's on that flight is going to sit right next to you.
right? And then you're like,
And you
hold
just
on.
and you did that's when I say, "Hey, look, that row's empty."
That other-
And I'm very surprised they didn't cancel it. You can
Right?
tell well in advance, unless they needed to get the crew back to Phoenix. That's the only thing I can think of.
Oh,
They needed to either
yes.
get their hours,
So true.
or they needed to get that plane and or get the crew back to Phoenix, because they probably had a flight out of Phoenix first thing early morning. That flight was probably full and they needed it here.
Yeah, that's a really good
Because
point.
they can't fly it that night before. They
No.
need that plane.
Right. And maybe Phoenix is home for this crew.
Absolutely.
But they got to sit in the cockpit.
Oh, cool.
The pilots were chatting with them and let them take some photos in there. And so it has had so much chatter on social media that Southwest has now responded to them and responded to everybody who responding to their video.
Mhm.
And they said, we're expecting an email from Southwest. They said they're going to reach out to us and let us know. And I thought, what would be great if they said, we're going to cover your flights on your honeymoon, Savannah.
Oh, that would be nice.
Or we're going to give you a list for the rest of 2025, which means you're always in the A boarding
Yes.
group.
I've never flown Southwest.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
They're very friendly.
Yeah.
Very, very
but
friendly.
that's how it works, right?
Yeah.
You get a group and you just pick a seat.
Yeah. you
Well, they
get
got to
a
pick whichever seat they wanted.
And then hopefully they took a little nappy.
Yeah.
They had enough room.
It's a quick flight, though, right?
Yeah, it's like an hour and 30,
Okay.
hour and 20, but there's a lot
Well,
of
with that
flights.
much excitement, I'd be running up and down the aisles, doing some yoga.
I know.
There's no one to bother.
No kidding. I better turn my phone off. My son is calling me right now. Doesn't he know that I'm working?
Kai.
Come on,
Come on, Kai.
Come on, Kai. Let me read some of your comments. Let's see. So Jen's Wall says, hope you enjoyed that 10-minute flight. I could see why it was empty. Tyler Lewis, I think he might have been on a flight there. And all of you are kind of chatting with each other. And Kim Winnett says, where is the champagne? What a great idea. They should have brought the champagne out for these ladies. Or maybe they don't drink at all. You never know. Lots of people aren't drinking anymore. That's like a thing.
Mhm.
You know?
It's not just dry January.
No, it's like dry life.
Yeah. But
Try
maybe
life.
more excited because you're not hungover.
That's so true. Okay, we're moving on to the next story. Thank you all for sharing your thoughts on this. And let me put up the poll question again, real quick. Here is your poll question. We were kind of starting and talking about these crazy, wild, warm weather out to the west, crazy, wild, cool weather out to the east. So, what is your perfect temperature right now? 70 to 80 degrees. Warm it up a little bit. 59% of you say that. 60 to 70 degrees. You dig the cooler temps. That's in second place at 38. But no, nobody likes it quite as hot as 110.
No, it's a lot to take in.
It is. And for all of you who maybe don't live in Arizona, Anita, you remember like when we would, in the middle of the afternoon, we would work in very hot temperatures in the summer,
Mhm.
and your heel,
Would melt into it would sink right into the blacktop.
and yes, into the
Mhm.
asphalt.
And yes, 10 years ago when we reported, we wore heels.
Yes.
These days the girls are smart and they wear the cute sneakers.
They do,
They
because
save their feet.
the sneakers
their
are
heels.
hip these days.
They are. They
Yeah,
are.
they're-
You know, we're talking, that's our poll question, and we're talking about it because we were talking about that massive roof collapse in New York
Yes.
because of all the heavy snow.
Here, I'll go
And
to
then,
that video now.
yeah, and then we have the opposite here where
Mhm.
we hit 90 degrees in February. We have all these people coming in for spring break, and they're saying, hallelujah, we love these warmer temperatures. This is what
Yes.
they're coming for. Whereas all of us here are kind of thinking, I've seen so many posts from people saying, well, so much for Arizona's winter, 90 in February, but
Yes.
cooler temps next week, you guys.
Cooler temps. Okay, let's go to this next one. And Kim Winnett, yes, cheers, lady, cheers. She says to those two that were in the plane with champagne.
Yeah, that's cute.
All right, let's go to this next video.
Oh my goodness.
This is a crazy story. So he looks super cute, but
Yeah.
he looks a little guilty.
Yeah, very guilty.
And her name's Luna. That
Oh,
was
gosh.
my apologies, Luna. She is a 7-month-old Bernese Mountain Dog, and she has a serious sock obsession. You're looking at an X-ray of her belly, and
Eh.
everything that you see in there, those are socks.
Well, and plus, there's more than just socks.
Yeah.
Read the
There's
list.
there's
Read the
inside
list.
inside her belly. Her stomach was swollen. They had to take her to the vet, emergency vet, because she was vomiting. She had 24 socks in her belly. Okay,
It's not funny.
if you have a dog in the chat box and you're sharing, and maybe you've experienced this, maybe not to this extreme, but what's the strangest thing that maybe you found in your pooch's belly, or that your pooch has had to vomit up? 24 socks in Luna's belly, 2 hair ties, a scrunchie, 1 shoe insert, 1 small baby onesie, and a few other pieces of clothing, all in Luna's belly. That is crazy.
And you know, it doesn't digest, it doesn't go through, which is why they're throwing everything up. I had a friend who had a little pit bull and took her in, similar symptoms,
Right.
and they pulled a rope out.
A rope?
And they think it was a dog toy that she just chewed. Maybe it was a rope. They don't even know where she could have found it.
Wow.
And then one of our executive producers had a pug, and she said she ate a little baby sock, and they had to take her in.
Aw.
They had to take her in to get it removed. They're not going to pass it through.
Wow. It is quite scary because you're not always home when your pooches are home.
But they're sneaky too.
They are very, very sneaky.
You might be
look
home.
At look at Luna's face.
Right,
She looks
she's like,
a-
what, me? What? What's wrong with a baby onesie and a shoe insert? They were delicious.
Oh my gosh. And those scrunchies, they look like dessert. This is the vet, by the way. And
Oh,
those are all the
gosh.
items they found in Luna's belly. It
That's
is so
insane.
crazy. So Leo Mac 323 Jr. says, my dog stole my steak 2 weeks ago.
And did he eat the whole thing?
He probably ate the whole
Oh,
thing.
no.
And I've got a story to share. So our dog had 30 tacos. Jack,
How big is Jack?
he's huge. I don't know what he weighs these days, but he's a big dog. And he's bigger than Luna. As we go back to the image of Luna, I had cooked up tacos, left them on the counter.
And you fried them too.
They were fried.
They were ready to go.
Ready to go for the family. Left them on the counter, went to go grab the kids at soccer practice. My daughter down the street, like 5 minutes
Yeah.
down the street.
Quick.
Came home and I thought, why is this plate on the counter empty? That's weird.
Maybe Gary came home and put the tacos away.
Well, that's what I thought. I was
Yeah.
like looking around, and then we have a camera. And so I took a look at the camera, and you could see him gently running around.
Gently.
Running around, and then like using his mouth to kind of gently like lean over onto the counter with his paws. And he was very careful not to break the plates. or the plate that it was on, but it
Because
was
he
so
knew he'd get in trouble
crazy.
then.
Oh my goodness.
He didn't get in trouble for the 30 tacos.
No. No, but here is another look at Luna. Fortunately, she is A-okay
Wow.
this
Pretty
morning.
miraculous.
We're on the dog beat this morning, and we're talking about this new bill at the Arizona State Legislature. And this is actually getting a lot of chatter online as well. We got to move through this one pretty quickly, but you may have to put your dog in the back seat or put him in the passenger seat because you could face a fine of $149 if this new bill passes at the Arizona Legislature.
If the dog or cat, they don't
Thank
discriminate,
you,
is in
yes.
your lap while you're driving. So guilty as charged.
Okay,
Short-
I'm going to put the Anita cam up. Okay.
guilty as charged. Shorty weighs 5 pounds, and he likes to curl up in our lap,
Aw.
and he doesn't really look out the window. He just kind of like sits in our lap. I think it calms him again. He can't see very well. He can't hear very well. Now, if you've got a 50-pounder, maybe
Yeah, our
that would
dog's
be
huge.
maybe that would be a distraction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll have to see, in
But I
fact, what happens with this bill, because I think it'll be interesting to see, I mean, we have a lot of dog
We have
and cat lovers.
I would never discourage anyone from loving on their dog.
Yes.
So
All right.
I'm on your side.
Anita, thank you for joining me this
Yeah.
morning. Thank you for everyone in the chat box. Let me give you one last glance here at our poll question this morning as we wrap it up. Have a blessed day, and we will see you tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Have a great Thursday.